All right, we are live on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you on this special edition for the post game. Make sure to subscribe if this is the first time you're seeing the Dodgers Digest channel. We have almost 8,000 subscribers. We're the fastest growing Dodgers YouTube channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, Dodgers get a big W today. This win really felt good because the Dodgers, of course, defeated their biggest rival, maybe their only rival, like we've talked about. The Dodgers and Giants goes all the way back to the Brooklyn Dodger days when the Giants were also New York. So these two teams hated each other even when they were in New York. But the Dodgers, a big win today, 5-2 in extra innings, 11 innings it took. And it was definitely a game that had so much to talk about. So many things happened in this game, right? I mean, we have to start off with Yoshinobu Yamamoto had a great start. We talked about it yesterday on the post game, talking about how it was going to be key for the Dodgers to have Yamamoto have, he had to have a good start, right? 7 innings today. He had 7 strikeouts. He only gave up 3 hits, but a really good start. One of his best starts of the entire season for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, right? And I think that's kind of where the Dodgers were able to set the tone early, basically shutting the Giants down, right? I mean, the Giants didn't have a runner in scoring position until the 7th inning. They had basically nothing going on offensively for them until the 7th inning. That was the first time the Giants got a runner to second base. Just shows you the dominance of Yamamoto's outing today. But, what's too bad about the start was that, he didn't get a win, right? I mean, Yamamoto deserved to have a W today, right? He definitely deserved to have a win. We know exactly why Yamamoto ends up getting the no decision, and that's because Tanner Scott once again blew the game, right? This is the second time this week Tanner Scott blows the game. Another home run, a 2-run shot that he gives up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Just a really, just a bad way to end this game. Luis Matos getting the 2-run shot for the Giants. You were really hoped that Tanner was going to get it done there. The Dodgers had a 2-0 lead in the 9th inning. But Tanner Scott, of course, was not able to come through and blew the game again. But the Dodgers offense, once again, comes up big. 10th inning, weren't able to score. You definitely got nervous there. With the Dodgers being unable to score in the top of the 10th, didn't score any runs. But then the Giants really blew it in the bottom of the 10th, right? I mean, they had the heart of the lineup coming up. Devers, of course, had the big line drive. James Outman saved the game for the Dodgers. If Outman doesn't make that catch in the bottom of the 10th inning, the game is over, right? I mean, looking at the replay, it looked like that ball was going to drop, and the game would have been over. I mean, the game would have been over at that point. It was a big catch for James Outman. James Outman played it perfectly, and he saved the Dodgers in the bottom of the 10th inning. Basically, it was Outman's best defensive play of his young baseball career. I have to go out. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that right now. I think it was his best defensive play of his young baseball career today out in San Francisco. Just a great catch. Devers played it perfectly, right? And Devers thought the game was over. I mean, you could see when he hit the ball, he thought, I won the game, but he didn't, right? And that was, of course, a great play. And then in the 11th inning, Freddie Freeman again coming up big. 2 outs. It was a 2-out hit. Outman's the one that scores the winning run, right, to make it 3-2 at that point. Outman takes off on contact, which was key, right, because it was a 2-out hit. It was just a little looper into basically no man's land in center field. Freddie Freeman gets that little hit, and Outman takes off on contact and scores from second to home, right? And I think that was, probably wouldn't have scored if it was no outs or 1 out, because he probably wouldn't have taken off there. But Dodgers, luckily, a 2-out hit, and, Freddie Freeman, a couple RBIs today. He got, of course, the first RBI way back in the 4th inning, as I look at my notes here. Getting that first, it was the first hit of the game for the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers didn't have any hits in the first 3 innings, right? Robbie Ray really shut the Dodgers down. The Giants' starting pitcher, seems like it was like hours ago, because it was, right? Today's game went on for over 3 hours. But Robbie Ray really shut the Dodgers down early on, right? And then Robbie Ray kind of ran into some trouble in the fourth, walking a couple batters. And then Freddie Freeman came up huge, right? Getting that big hit to give the Dodgers the early lead. And then in the fourth inning, the Dodgers kind of struggled there, right? Teoscar Hernández strikes out. And then Andy Pajes strikes out on a really bad call from the umpire, right? I mean, that should have not been strike three. It was a really bad call back in the fourth inning. That would have, of course, loaded the bases at that point. The Dodgers had a couple runners on there in the fourth. But yeah, that was a bad call. The umpiring was not very good today. A lot of inconsistency when it comes to the balls and strikes. Kind of, continuing to fuel the conversation that I think we have to have robot umpires, right? I mean, I think, that's a question I'm posing to everybody out there that's currently hopping on. Thanks for hopping on. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're seeing this for the first time. But, looking at today's game, I mean, this is another, argument to have robot umpires, right? To have AI call the balls and strikes, because it seems like the human element of the game is once again kind of messing up a lot, right? Because that was not a strike three call on Andy Pajes in the fourth inning. It was a bad call, and at the end it doesn't matter. The Dodgers, of course, win the game, but the Dodgers really struggled in these last couple days. There was a couple innings where the Dodgers really kind of struggled with runners in scoring position, which is kind of concerning, right? The Dodgers still not quite up to their normal offensive output, right? Only scored, they did score, of course, 5 runs today, got a lot of those runs in that 11th inning, but really it was a quiet day offensively for the Dodgers, right? For the most part, the Giants kind of shut the Dodgers down, and then when they had opportunities to kind of jump on the Giants, when the Dodgers had opportunities with a lot of runners on, the Giants, were able to get through those jams, right? So that's a big concern that the Dodgers still are kind of struggling with hitting with runners in scoring position, and that was kind of why the Dodgers lost all those games too this past week, right? That's kind of why they had that really terrible losing streak, because they weren't scoring runs, and they weren't getting the pitching. Well, today they got the pitching, right? Yamamoto was lights out. Had a great start, 7 innings, his best start of the season, and the Dodgers got a big series win, pushing their lead on the Giants now up to 6. San Diego also lost, so that is now a 5.5 game lead on the Padres as well. So the Dodgers have a comfortable lead going into the All-Star break, which kicks off tomorrow. All-Star game is on Tuesday in Atlanta, right? But let's go to the comments. I want to thank everybody who's commenting. We got a lot of comments. Craig, hey, what's up? Outman, yeah, great catch. He saved the game, no doubt about that, Craig. The Dodgers would not be talking about a win right now if it wasn't for James Outman. This guy was, super important, right? He didn't even start today's game, but he ends up kind of being, in some ways, the MVP along with Freddie Freeman. Those two guys are the MVPs along with Yamamoto. That's why those 3 guys are on the title of this video. That's why they're on the thumbnail, right? Because those 3 players really came up big for the Dodgers, right? Without those guys, they would have not won this game. Champion saying, way to go to take the series against the dreaded Giants. Super happy to see the Dodgers win the series. And what makes it even more awesome is that, we got those comments from... Of course, I don't know if everybody must have seen what happened this week on social media. Was it a Friday night? We had Logan Webb, Giants pitcher, and Willie Adames, right, of the Giants as well, talking about how there was too many Dodger fans in San Francisco for these games. And that, of course, is super funny because it just shows you how the Dodgers have fans all over the world, right? I mean, they're even infiltrating San Francisco, right? I mean, there was definitely more Dodger fans at all 3 games. It just shows you how the Giants fan base just really didn't show up this weekend. And they obviously blew it, right? I mean, the Giants are basically done when it comes to winning the division. Their hopes of winning the division have ended today because they have now lost another series against the Dodgers. It's basically over, right? I mean, it's a 6-game lead. But the Giants really had a huge opportunity this weekend to really, get closer. And come on, today in the 10th inning, They had all their hitters coming up, all the guys, trade for Devers, signed Adames. This was their time to shine, and they blew it, right? They basically choked in the 10th inning. The Dodgers didn't score in the top of the 10th, and they had their chance to win the game there in the bottom of the 10th, and they didn't live up. They basically blew it, right? So the Giants, once again, just not good enough. Don't think they pose much of a threat to the Dodgers when it comes to winning the division. Maybe San Diego does. They got, 6 games against them in August. But really, I think the Dodgers have a good lead going into the All-Star break, and the Giants are in trouble when it comes to the division. They might be even in trouble going to the playoffs, right? The Giants may not even make the playoffs this year, especially after today. Craig saying Scott having the yips. Yeah, I mean, Tanner Scott, what are we going to do with Tanner Scott? Tanner Scott continues to be a really bad signing for the Dodgers, right? I mean, this guy really has been disappointing, to say the least. They paid all this money for Tanner Scott, highest paid reliever. He was a top reliever last year in the National League. I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? I mean, it's not like this guy was a scrub or anything last year. This guy was an all-star and was really good, right? So even the Dodgers wanted to try to trade for him last year and didn't pan out. ERA under 2, shut the Dodgers out in the playoffs. But this year, it has been an absolute nightmare pitching for the Dodgers, right? It has been really bad. And today, it was bad again, right? 9th inning, it was not very good. Offense, again, coming up big. But, you're worried. I mean, you have to be concerned about the Dodgers in the playoffs now because they don't have a closer, right? The Dodgers just don't have a closer. How are you going to rely on Tanner Scott if it's like Game 5 of the NLDS or Game 7 of the NLCS and the score is you're only up 1 run or it's a tie game? How are you going to really rely on Tanner Scott, right? The way it's going, I mean, it's going to be really hard to really rely on this guy. It's just not looking good at all, right? Tanner Scott is a guy that you would expect, to be pitching better, but it's just not happening. It's not happening at all for Tanner Scott. But what else we got? We got, Coddle's asking, what are we going to do with Tanner? Yeah, basically, what are we going to do with Tanner Scott? I mean, at this point, I don't think the Dodgers could trade him, and I don't think they're going to release him, and I don't think they're going to bench him either. So I think you just got to hope he pitches better. That's really the only thing you can hope for with Tanner Scott. We got Dan Weaver saying Scott owes his boys a Rolex watches. Yeah, I would say so. I think Tanner Scott owes some watches. He's got to get drinks on everybody. Drinks on him tonight, right? Because basically, I mean, this guy really owes the rest of the team something, right? Because without especially Freddie Freeman, right? Freddie Freeman and James Outman, they basically saved Tanner Scott today, because we would be talking about a completely different story right now if it weren't for those 2 players that basically saved the Dodgers. Because, Tanner Scott blew it again. Got, a Smoking Prophet saying, we still winning the division, still the best team in baseball. Go Dodgers. That's right. Go Dodgers. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They have proved it again today. Not playing their best, right? They have not played their best the last couple days, right? The Dodgers have not played their best at all. They're having a hard time scoring runs. They're having a hard time closing out games, but yet they are still winning the ball games, right? And that has been something that has been kind of crazy to watch this season. Kind of like how it was last year near the end, right? The Dodgers weren't really playing their best at times, but they still found a way to win. And that's happening again this year. It's happening again and again this year. They lead the league in comeback wins and, not getting the best pitching at times, blowing games. The bullpen has been worse this year, but still finding a way to win. And it's going to be really hard to beat the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers are clearly World Series favorites again, right? And I'm not being biased. I mean, the Dodgers have all the players they have picked up, everything that they're going through, all the injuries, still in first place. I just don't see any other team really being at the Dodgers level, and it's going to be really hard to beat this team in a 7-game series. It's going to be really hard to beat the Dodgers when it comes to a playoff series. It's going to be really hard, and I just don't see it happening. We got Dan saying, I like your podcast. Appreciate it, Dan. Hopefully you're subscribed. Make sure to like the video. We got Smoking Prophet saying we need to stay consistent every game we play. Yeah, need consistency. I think the Dodgers at times have shown some lack of consistency, right? They have struggled this year. And yeah, consistency is going to be super important. Ray saying, leave it to Tanner Scott to blow another perfect game. Yeah, I mean, Tanner Scott really blew, because I think I feel for Yamamoto, right? Because Yoshinobu Yamamoto deserved a W today, right? I mean, come on, he went 7 innings. That doesn't even happen in modern baseball anymore, right? This guy went 7 innings today. And for him to get a no decision in a game that the Dodgers won is unacceptable, right? I mean, you don't want to see that. You want to see your starting pitcher get a W on his record when he goes that deep in a game, threw almost 100 pitches, the Giants only had 1 runner in scoring position in those 7 innings. So basically, like I said, a dominant start for Yamamoto, averaged a strikeout an inning, 7 strikeouts in 7 innings. Absolutely a great start. And for him not to get the W is just unacceptable, right? We got Eric Cruz saying, hey, Mike, what's up from Florida? What's up, everybody out in Florida? What's up, Eric? I know Florida right now is super warm, probably getting some rain as well. But we got Dodger fans all over, right? Freddie came in clutch today. Scott pitching great for the Padres. Yeah, I mean, basically, that's kind of how it's looking like, right? I mean, Scott basically still like he's wearing a Padres uniform. It's nuts, right? But yeah, Freddie Freeman came in clutch. Freeman, a Dodgers legend, just like how he did in the World Series. I mean, without Freeman, the Dodgers probably are not world champions. And maybe this year, without Freddie Freeman, they maybe are not even in first place, right? So that is super important. Again, the Dodgers having their star players, coming up big. Ray saying Yamamoto pitched a great game. Vesia is a better closer than Tanner Scott. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think Vesia is going to maybe have to have a shot at being a closer, right? At this point, we're going to have to start moving some things around in the bullpen because Tanner Scott is not getting the job done, right? He is not getting the job done in the 9th inning, not pitching well, blowing too many games, giving up home runs, giving up way too many home runs as a reliever, right? I mean, as a starting pitcher, you can have games where you give up, a home run here and there. You're pitching so many innings, right? But as a closer, you're only coming in for 1 inning. And, Tanner Scott's giving up way too many home runs in key situations. So, very concerning. Vesia at this point, yeah, I mean, we may have to see Vesia close the game out. Dodgers don't really want to do that. It seems like they want to keep pushing Tanner Scott to be the closer. I mean, they spent so much money. It seems like that's the name of the game here. We got Edman and Reyes saying Edman and Hernandez are failing terribly with hitting. Yeah, with runners in scoring position, those two guys are really struggling getting runs across, right, with runners in scoring position, especially Tommy Edman. He is striking out a lot. It's very concerning because Tommy Edman was super important for the Dodgers last year, and it seems like this year things are not really working out in terms of the offense for him, right, and that's of course, a bit concerning. We got Craig saying 7th or 8th inning now for Scott. Yeah, I mean, probably going to see Scott eventually move to the 8th inning, right? I think, like I said, Vesia can get a shot maybe at being the closer. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you're seeing the video seeing the channel for the first time, make sure to like this video and also make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow morning, we got the Monday morning live stream, right? Myself and Brad J. We're going to be talking about the Dodgers, so make sure to get your make sure to have the notifications on, right? Like we've talked about before, because then you won't know when we go live, right? So make sure to put those notifications on so you know exactly when the Dodgers Digest live streams start. We're going to be doing more of these in the second half of the year, right? Second half of the year, going to be kicking off Friday, so going to be basically the home stretch now to the playoffs. So it's going to be super fun covering the Dodgers again this year, right? Just like last season. But last season we didn't do any live streams, so this year is better, right? Because we're doing a lot more live stuff. But yeah, so make sure to, like I said, tomorrow we got the show as well with Brad. But also we got to talk about what did everybody think about the Roku broadcast, right? We saw a lot of people on social media a bit confused, trying to find the game today. right? But it was Steven Nelson, one of our broadcasters, doing a play-by-play, and then we had Hunter Pence, right? Hunter Pence, who's not very well liked by Dodger fans, former Giant, doing the color right there. But yeah, it was an okay broadcast. I would have liked to have seen a player from the Dodgers, right? Not a player from the Giants doing the game, but you could definitely see Hunter Pence was pulling for the Giants the whole game. Was a bit disappointed when the Dodgers won this game, right? But the Dodgers really, come on, they deserved this win today. They were the better team, and they won the series fair and square, right? I think at the end of the day, the Dodgers showed that they're the better team on paper, right? I think that's what it comes down to in baseball. I mean, well, obviously not always, right? The best team doesn't always win. It's baseball, right? Anybody can win, but at this point, I think the Dodgers really are clearly better than the Giants, right? I mean, I think it's these two series that they've had, right? They already had a series down in L.A., and then, of course, now up in San Fran this year so far. So, the Dodgers, of course, have had, the upper hand when it comes to these games. Friday was an anomaly right there, right? An 8-7 win for the Giants. They jumped on the Dodgers pitching early. But really, the Giants they've showed that they're just not at the level of the Dodgers, right? We got Craig saying Steven Nelson was the best part. Yeah, I would agree. He did a great job today doing the play-by-play for the national audience that was watching today's game, right? Because today's game was available basically around the country, right, for free. As long as you had an internet connection, you were able to watch today's game free with no blackouts. So I assume more people were able to watch today's game. But yeah, what does everybody think? What do you think about the Dodgers going into the All-Star break? I want to see the comments there. What do you think? The Dodgers have, of course, a 5.5 game lead on San Diego, and then they have a 6-game lead on the Giants, right? So Giants in third place now after today's loss. So what does everybody think? Are you feeling comfortable? Do you think the Dodgers got this division wrapped up, or do you think there's still a push from these other two teams, right? Because Arizona looks like they're basically done. Like they're not going to be catching the Dodgers anytime soon. I mean, they still can. I mean, they still can make a run for it, but at this point, I think it's kind of wrapped up between those three, right? It looks like probably the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers, one of those three is going to win the division, and I think everybody's got to have their money on the Dodgers, right? I think everybody has to have their money on the Dodgers to get that division wrapped up. I mean, come on. I mean, the Dodgers have the best team. They've been winning the division the whole year. They've basically have dominated the NL West this year. Last year was a whole different story, right? I mean, last year it was a dogfight until the end, right, between San Diego and LA, going all the way to the last week, right? The Dodgers had to win 2 out of 3 at Dodger Stadium on that last week against San Diego, right? And I think this year I just don't see that happening. I don't see it this year, right? I don't think San Diego has the same team this year. They don't have Tanner Scott. That was super important for them. And the Dodgers, on the other hand, have a lot of players coming back, right? This year, sure, they have injuries now, but they got so many pitchers coming back in the next few weeks. I mean, Tyler Glasnow just came back, and hopefully Blake Snell can come back. Still no timetable. And Roki Sasaki, maybe, right? No timetable for his return. So maybe a couple guys come back. Maybe they don't. It's pretty much how it is. And then, of course, the trade deadline still is in 2 weeks, right? The trade deadline hasn't passed yet. July 31st. It's in a couple weeks. And that's going to be, of course, the next big story for the Dodgers, right? What are the Dodgers going to do at the trade deadline? We've seen Andrew Friedman talk about how they don't want to trade for a starting pitcher. He said it publicly, not making this up. Andrew Friedman, Dodgers front office said that they do not want to make a trade for a starting pitcher, knowing that they have Tyler Glasnow, who just came back, and, of course, Blake Snell, who they hope is going to come back soon. So what do you think? Should the Dodgers make a trade for a starting pitcher, right? I mean, I think that's going to be the big question mark. Or should they kind of be a bit more passive here and not do anything really important, right? I think the Dodgers are going to make a trade for a bullpen pitcher. I really do think the Dodgers are going to try to trade for somebody in that bullpen, because the Dodgers have had so much inconsistency with their bullpen injuries that have not helped. The Evan Phillips injury is huge, done for the year. Michael Kopech getting hurt again. So yeah, those two guys that were super important for the Dodgers last year, not part of the rotation right now. So I think Dodgers are going to probably try to get a bullpen pitcher. I was talking about it this morning on our other video about the possibility of trading for Griffin Jax from the Minnesota Twins, right? The Twins are not making the playoffs this year. A really bad year for the Minnesota Twins. So they're probably going to try to trade Griffin Jax, right? He was a pretty solid pitcher, and the Dodgers could try to jump on that trade. So I think that's the kind of deal I think the Dodgers are going to make. I really do think the Dodgers are going to make a trade like that for a pretty solid reliever, because they need help. They need help in their bullpen. We got Craig saying Dodgers should unload minor leaguers who are older for a hitter, right? I don't know about for a hitter. I think the Dodgers have enough offense. Not concerned with the Dodgers offense at this point. I am more concerned with the Dodgers pitching, right? Can the Dodgers have enough pitching to win a World Series again? That's the big question mark that I think. Sure, they might have the names on the roster, but some of these guys are not playing, or they're not playing good right now. So they need to find some pitchers that are going to be consistent. Last year, it didn't really happen, right? I mean, the Dodgers never had, maybe you could say Walker Buehler was a bit consistent in the playoffs, and then Yamamoto as well had the big start for them in Game 5 of the NLDS. But really, the Dodgers didn't have dominant pitching performances in their route to the World Series, right? They just didn't really get it last year. It was all about the offense. So this year, can they do it again? Can they actually do it again all with the offense, right? I think that's going to be the big question mark that the Dodgers are going to have. And I think everybody's got a question, are the Dodgers really going to be able to do it again with the current roster they have set up? But I want to thank everybody for hopping on the stream today. Like I said, tomorrow morning we got the Monday morning live stream with Brad talking about the Dodgers, and this week is no Dodger games until Friday, right? It's the All-Star break. All-Star break is going to be All-Star game is on Tuesday, right? Tomorrow is the Home Run Derby. They're going to be doing the All-Star game this year in Atlanta, Georgia. Probably going to be some bad weather on Tuesday, so I'm sure that game's going to get rain delayed. A lot of thunderstorms down in the south, as we know. This time of year, July, August, it's always kind of rough weather, but it's going to be hot for sure as well. But yeah, so this week, going to be no Dodger games, but we'll still be talking about the Dodgers all week. We'll be talking about, rumors and all that kind of stuff, because we know the Dodgers are going to be probably active. The trade rumors are going to start to pick up, right? The deadline is in a couple weeks, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about in the next few days leading up to the trade deadline, which is July 31st. That's the big date for the Dodgers to make a big trade and start to build up for the playoffs and try to go back-to-back, right? The Dodgers have never gone back-to-back. They can make Dodgers history this year and win a World Series. So, yeah, hopefully that's what happens. But, yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're seeing this for the first time, or if you're not seeing this for the first time and maybe you haven't subscribed. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. We have almost 8,000 of you already locked and loaded here on the Dodgers Digest channel. Make sure to, hit that. Make sure to have the notifications button on so you know exactly when we go live and when we post those videos. But as always, let's go Dodgers. Woo!